Hello there, fellow farmers. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Whiskerwood Pirate Seeds. Episode 3, Sowing Important Seeds for a Brighter Future. One thing I realized is once we mine that coal out, we can't go east-west here. Unless we, like, romp through the farm fields. But, you know, oh well. Oh, there is a path up here. They have a path, they're just not using it. I think it might just be that the physical path is outside of their zoning, so they're not getting themselves up that way. I don't know. I don't really care. They're busy and working, so that works for me. All right, this mining camp is done. I'll move it back up again. Slice it. There is still gold below, down one, over one. Okay. There's plenty of tasks now. So we don't have a tax collector coming for 3 days. It's going to be a minute before they show back up. And then once this is landfilled, you know, I'll speed this up. Once this area is landfilled, we are going to build our research building over that way. The research, actually, maybe I'll put the research lab somewhere else. Having the research lab close to the central warehouse actually would be kind of nice. Because the research lab will have to take a lot of resources from the central warehouse. So perhaps I'll put it here. And then have the path come up here so that they can take resources quick. Our food's looking better. We got a lot more berries as a result of putting more people in the berry collection. So what are the upcoming events? Tomorrow, nothing, and then 2 days away, Whisker Ship. Cool. We have 3 extra beds. So we have capacity for extra whiskers. One of the more like medium-term goals is to land clear this area, which looks fertile and green. And then putting another farm up and around here. Maybe for like trees and flax. Alright, looks good. Oh, we hit another copper node. Fantastic. Central warehouse, it's pushing its capacity here. So, I think I'll go ahead and plop down a... Oh, that really shouldn't go there, because that blocks the pathing. I'll plop down a storage shed, a small storage shed. I'll just put it here. That'll work. So once we have the research lab up, Krieg's gonna have to be their researcher. Currently they're working in the forging hut, so we can furlough them or fire them or hire them rather from the forger to the research lab, because that's not like a big loss of work or anything like that. Would a small warehouse inside the mines be worth it? Maybe, but it's gonna fill up with like random junk that's gonna need to get pulled out to the rest of the warehouses rather quickly. So it's probably better that it just like put some planks down to allow them to deposit stuff to the central warehouse quicker. All right, here we go. Research. So Krieg, you are now our researcher, and researcher requires education. So if you don't have an educated person, you're gonna need one. Open the research tree, and first one to go for will be charcoal furnace. Charcoal furnace leads us to the ore furnace eventually. The other thing that we're gonna want is a stone cutter factory. So that would be the last factory that I currently have access to. And it requires an apprentice. You have to be an apprentice to work in it. And it's a rather large building, so ideally I'd like to nestle it somewhere like near the central warehouse, maybe like here. But that means probably landfilling beneath it. Ooh, look at all the cotton. Oh yeah, look at the storage here. Cotton going up fast. We'll easily be able to pay the tax collector, and maybe not with ores this time. Because ideally I'd like to keep the metals, right? Functionally speaking, there is a finite amount of metals on this island. Of course, we could always build a bridge over to another island, but selling the crown something that we have a non-finite amount of is smarter in the long run, whether it's timber, cotton, etc. How much, okay, I have 15 cloaks, good. I just wanted to make sure that I had a decent amount, because we are day 11, and it is the fall. And it will be getting cold in about 5 days. And I definitely want a nice stockpile of clothing before that happens. Looks good. Ooh, heavy rain. So heavy rain is causing slower move speed if soaked. And people are going to get soaked for sure. Well, oh well. Alright, Whisker ship. We've got another one that's educated, but they're a pessimist, so maybe not. We also have, I'm gonna re-roll it with our favor. I wouldn't mind getting another farmer. Warmcore Explorer Guild is a good combination. The Explorers Guilds already have a natural resistance to cold, and Warmcore is their better in cold temperatures, so they make for a very good woodcutter in the winter, because they're not going to freeze to death. Yeah, that will be the only one I take. And we'll immediately deploy them in the woodcutter. And raffling them off. Now, if I
Please.
increased my my housing to 21 and my population to 21, we would get a bunch of like tax credit and approval. But I don't necessarily need a race to do that. I don't feel the need to just like immediately go for that. How bad is the greedy trait? Yeah, I don't really know. Of all the traits that we have, monarchist would probably be a problem because the monarchists are going to be really upset if and when I break away from the crown. Oh, okay. That's good to know. I was wondering when we found the gold over here, does it lead to more gold? And yeah, yes, it absolutely does. So earthworks, let's move that here. Filling in a few more holes over there, but there we go. We have a nice wharf made of earth. And then we'll work on the stoneworks over here. Now the other thing is, I'm nearly out of like raw stone. So I'm gonna queue up some mining tunnels that just explore around. Mostly for this stone excavation, because we've filled our earthworks up with stone, and all that stone is now gone. So we're gonna need to excavate more stone so that we can fill more of these potholes. Strip mining stone from the top? I mean, I could. It is not a very, it's a pretty barren mountaintop. It's just the travel time is a penalty, because at some point or another what will end up happening is the miners up top, if they don't have a fast way to get down, will fail to eat, fail to sleep, and my approval will plummet. So you really don't want to have to navigate far distances until you have the means to transport people far distances. You know, whether that's passenger rails, trying to get to other islands, or long stairs and slides. It's going to be important to have improved methods of getting up there before I really start exploiting the top of this mountain. Yeah, maybe researching slides wouldn't be unreasonable. Now, in terms of the research speed is rather slow, and they consume the resource to build up the research, so I've got like 40% of my charcoal furnace. It is not a quick process, but it is definitely worth doing. Alright, tax collector arrives tomorrow. We're starting to get pleasant surroundings. People like where they live. That's good. We're building up our... Oh, there's a lot of copper in there. We're building up our stone supplies so that we can keep land filling. And then once I run out of stone, I can always just hire turtle as a miner again. Switching between earthworks and mining, so that we don't run out of resource. Oh, you know, actually... There, large shipment of mostly cotton. Awesome. Pierogi, welcome to the colony. So this forager is out of stuff to forage. I'll fix that in just a moment. let's move you over here so you can work towards removing the berry bushes in this area so I can use it for farming. Because that's really the only way to remove those berry bushes. And a supply ship, I'm going to refuse. I don't really need machinery, and I'm already making my own cloaks. I don't need food. We're really pretty set on food. Alright, gift supplies. I'll go for even more machinery, because it's something that I cannot manufacture for myself, and then I'll go for more woven cloaks and tailored cloaks. Because I don't have a renewable resource of flax just yet. So I have a finite amount of flax as a result of the foraging that we did. So I know that my weaver is eventually going to run out of flax and we'll need to start farming for it. Oh, and yes, the redesign of the stairwell system worked. I put the stairs closer to the farm and they're actually going for this now. So, problem sort of solved. How upset are the feline overlords with me? Not, because I just sent them a large shipment. Basically, I'm sending them more than they're asking for in taxes, but then refusing their extra supplies, which is keeping things roughly in balance. Okay, the storage I have available to me is about to be a problem. I'm nearly out of storage. What I could do is add storage for the farm over here. Like that. That was a rather expensive path, but I think it's ultimately going to be worth it. So we can traverse the coast more quickly. Will help out the farmers a lot. So I think it looks like there's like a finite distance the farmers can travel from their hut in terms of like physical steps. Which is why, well, no, pretty much everywhere over there, they've already... I don't really know what's going on here. But whatever, it works. Our upcoming events. Supply ship and whisker ship tomorrow. Found even more copper. And the earthworks is done with the fill that I requested previously. So, let's go ahead and move this over here. And I'm going to start filling in this area. So I can build a... maybe not that spot. That might be a little weird. So I can build a stone cutter that's very close to the central warehouse. Things are going more or less smooth. We did get another storage shed over here to add to our storage total. What is filling this up? A lot of woven cloaks, interestingly. Woven cloaks are pretty decent, offering up the pirates so they don't kill us. So maybe we will use them as leverage in that way. Nice. All right, we should be pretty close to our research project now, I'd imagine. 73%? Yeah, we're getting there. Now, another thing you could do is you can educate, building a school, and a school allows you to take someone who has knowledge and pass that knowledge on. So you can use someone who is a craftsman to make other craftsmen. You can also have a craftsman make apprentices. You can have apprentices make other apprentices, and then you can have your educated make it educated. It takes a while to educate people, but once they're educated, because people don't like die of old age, and as long as you're not starving them to death, they don't die. You can improve the ability of all of your whiskers, or your mice, or citizens, or whatever you want to call it. So that might be a useful endeavor to undertake, but I think the stone cutter is going to be needed first, because I don't have any stone. So that's really the next thing on the production list. And we are 3 days from winter. Alright, here's the tax collector, or the whisker ship first. Gifted teacher. So a gifted teacher teaches others more quickly, but in this case, Bramble doesn't actually know anything. So if I wanted to have Bramble use that gifted teacher trait, I would need to train Bramble into something first. Like train Bramble to be an apprentice or educated or something, and then I could pass that on. In this case, Tamer here is a craft master, which is the highest tier of crafting apprenticeship training. But they happen to be rude, so I'm not about to take on someone rude. So I think what I'll do is I'll re-roll. A sickly craftmaster. Sickly means they're less resilient to cold and illness. That has me worried a little bit. I wouldn't mind taking in a craftmaster, but maybe not one that is sickly. You know what? Screw it, let's do it. I'll just have to keep them warm. Alright, giveaway one more time. And now, with the Craftsmaster, there's even more reason for me to invest in a school, so that they can pass on that knowledge. Right? So, for research, once I have more planks, we can build a school. And maybe it might be cool to have, like, a school up here or something, you know, that looks down on everyone. Mountain school. I don't know. Well, I don't have the materials for it yet, so I don't need to work out the details for that yet, but something like that. Alright, and the supply ship, who we will turn away. Now, in turning them away, what's going to end up happening is we will be roughly neutral with the crown, but that's fine because we're paying taxes tomorrow. So, as you can see, they're, like, impatient. But because we're going to do, like, a full shipment tomorrow, we'll correct that reputation problem. Does it cost anything to move houses? They don't move. So, it costs you blowing them up and physically rebuilding them. Only the resource extractors can move. The woodcutter, the forager, the mining camp, and the earthworks. As far as I know, nothing else really moves. Okay, we have a few more little storage sheds, which will help out with the, it'll help out with the surplus of goods that we're trying to make room for. And I think I'm going to put my earthworks on mining duty, and I'm going to move my miner underground to join the other mining camp. If there's, yeah, there's room. So that we get more stone. Because we're basically out of stone. So we'll just mine deeper into the mountain. Yeah, and pausing the earthworks until I have like 20, 30 stone, something like that. Alright, I've chosen to leave this crop field fallow. The reason for that is the fertility and nutrients in this crop field is like low, and if we leave it fallow for the winter, it will recover a little bit, because I don't really need it right now. Schematic granted. Now we know how to turn logs into fuel. 2 logs to 3 fuel, so it's a positive loop. And let's then do the research for a small warehouse. As much as I would like the ore furnace, I think it's pretty obvious that we're going to need a small warehouse first, because we are filling up our town with goods, and we don't have anywhere to put it. We're basically at like nearly storage max, and having a higher capacity storage is going to help a lot. So here's the charcoal furnace. One thing to note is the charcoal furnace produces pollution. Because it produces pollution when you build it, you should not have it near where people like are frequently sleeping, eating, etc. You know, put it in a sparsely populated area so that it doesn't negatively change everyone's moods. I'm sort of curious if I can just leave fallow but also remove rocks. I think you can. That way the stony soil becomes just sand. Because this sort of stony soil, I don't like the look of it, so like I'll work to fix it. 2 weeks have passed. And we're doing alright. Things going mostly smooth. So light showers today. It's not cold yet, but it's definitely getting there. We're 2 days away from the winter. Our miners are hitting lots of ores.
Do you remember the parable of the lazy cart and the busy beavers? How the lazy cart ignored the advice of the beavers and never stocked up food for the winter, how he preferred the comfort of sleeping in the sun over diligent saving. Winter is coming. We need to be like busy beavers and build up our...
Okay, so he was requesting that I build up a supply... Oh, I never unnamed you. You are by Frostborn. Building up a supply of food for the winter.
Do you remember the parable?
It wants me to have 84 food, which I happen to have exactly 84. So accept the quest.
Do you remember the parable of the lazy?
Complete the quest.
Been entrusted by...
You're welcome. And now we have a bunch of extra logs as a result. Alright, tax time. So they're impatient, and I'm definitely going to want to ship like a full shipment to them. A large shipment, rather. There we go. And that's going to increase their trust to max again. And also to give me 2 like freebie shipments. So if we take a look now, they're pleased. 1,000 bits for 100% not rigged. Yeah, but you know, everyone saw that you won the Craftmaster before. Whatever. Yes, it is rigged, guys. If you cheer like he does, you'll absolutely rig it in your favor. I can be bribed. Alright, what do we got here? I wouldn't mind... I wouldn't mind... Your name is Twitch. Another farmer? Because I'll hire them in the fishing pier. And because I just rolled the last raffle, we'll roll this off, and this goes to Kilgore. Wherever they are. Oh my my god. Okay, you're a farmer, so I'll sort that way. There we go. So now I have two fishermen. Because as we head into the winter, it's going to be harder to source our food from, you know, farmland. All right. Let's take cutstone and planks. And then machinery and bars. Because I think we have enough clothing. I'm a little worried that, like, there's almost no capacity in our stockpiles, which seeing that this is 258 out of 233, I would say is correct. We done filled her up, Captain. We'll hold no more. So I'm laying out some additional homes. We're at 17 out of 21. I really don't need this one. So I'm going to bring it up to 21 out of 21. Just so that I have enough for the quest that I've been given. Cheers. Oh yeah, here they go. They are removing the stone from the stony crop fields. I don't think that that's actually like a wise use of their time. I was just curious if they could do it. But if I ever catch them idle, I'll put them on the, like, ha, you dig stones job again. But there's clearly a lot of other better work to do. Is there how many whiskers you can use a service? Yes. So they're like a cafe, for instance, only has like 21 food stockpiled. And then baths fill up faster, but it also depends on when people physically get to the baths. So it's a little harder to say what the maximum capacity is because it really depends on your logistics and your roadworks and other factors like that. Alright, these foragers are nearly done foraging. They're like low-hanging fruit. So I'll put a path up here. What I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to clear cut the land, preparing it for farming in the future. Oh boy. I will have to add some storage. There we go. Just keep throwing storage at it. Looking pretty good. Alright, there is a pirate blockade today. And then a supply. And then another supply 3 days away. I will likely pay off the pirate blockade because I have a lot of machinery. And it doesn't take a lot of machinery to make pirates happy. So here are the pirates. And one machinery is enough for full ransom. Awesome. That cost me almost nothing. Okay, we have one more house to build. So, I'm gonna refuse. And then we have an advisor. Low temperatures are coming. Got it. So I plopped all of my houses kind of on top of one another to prepare for this event. So I will, because I have a lot of logs, I'll start to place heating now. And 3 fires or 9 logs should keep everything warm. Because if we look at the temperature here, they're starting to get cold. This is the temperature overlay, as you can see in the H, and it also makes my eyes disappear, so that's creepy. I am Cyborg. Cyborg rad. And then the fires only last for like 3 days, so you're gonna have to build multiple throughout the winter.
Please, may we have better housing? This new island was exciting for a bit, but that excitement has worn off.
I am not going to complete these quests because these quests give approval, and I'm at my approval max. It also gives trinkets, which is like, trinkets are like worthless garbage that the cats want. Think like balls of yarn. Us mice don't care, but the cats are like, ooh, fun! And they're stupid and will play with it. So, I know that I have some things to redeem, but I want to leave them unredeemed for now. Ah, found more gold. The gold happens to be part of the mountain, though. Okay, the crop field here, being left fallow, is slowly recovering its nutrients. And then this one is queued up to be fallow as well once it's harvested. Storage is getting added. I have horrible logistics in this colony. I just have big old stacks of random warehouses. At some point, maybe we'll aim to make it more sensible, but not now. And I'm re-employing the earth worker so that we can landfill this area. Food's looking pretty strong. Resources looking pretty strong. And if we look at the temperature map here, everywhere where people sleep, eat, and bathe is warmed. That's the important part, because you don't want them like cold while they're eating, sleeping, or bathing, ideally. So I centered it around like the heart of the town.
Please, may...
Now, it does have a negative consequence, which is pollution. So, mild pollution is a negative modifier here, which makes them upset. There are other sources of heating that you unlock later on, as you can see. Fire tenders, bonfires, heating stoves, water pipes, water valves, water tanks, steam boilers, steam pipes, steam radiators. Eventually, we'll have cleaner sources of heat, but, like, that's eventually. That's not now, so... they're gonna have to suck it up and breathe some soot. Thank you for tuning in to Whiskerwood Pirate Seas, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow micekin.